write it. You are not a victim of your circumstance. You are the architect of your life. I told you what happened to me in my year 3 in the university. I was failing. I was almost getting to be rusticated from the university because I arrived very late. And I was running away from further maths in school. I was doing engineering and I was running away. The mathematics I ran away from in secondary school, I eventually met it in engineering first semester and second semester. And I told myself, this further maths I ran away from is the basics in year 1. I said, oh my God, I wish I did it in secondary school. Now I have met it. I came 3-4 months late in the university. I'm on the verge of failure, about to leave the university. What am I going to do? But I took a decision. I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am an architect of my future. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're set for a great night. And I'm trusting and believing that it will really be an encounter indeed. Okay. Thank you very much. And so with this, I want to formally welcome those who are just joining us to the Aspire for Excellence webinar series this night. We'll be taking personal leadership, becoming the architect of your life. But just before we go ahead, I think George is here to take the bio. So George, over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you. Our speaker today, Engineer Mike Iwebu, is a field operations engineer in the oil and gas sector with over 28 years of proven work experience, of which about 14 has been in the senior management position. His career has predominantly been in the oil and gas upstream field operations. However, he developed interest in renewable energy and energy transition, which led him to take further research studies for a doctoral degree in energy economics, management, and policy. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and also a member of several professional bodies, including Society of Petroleum Engineers, SP International, National Association of Corrosion Engineers, Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. Engineer Mike has high drive enthusiasm for learning and is capable of independent research. He has published several papers in his field of endeavor and also won a few awards at both national and international levels for his published research work. He has worked and studied in several countries, including France, where he undertook a research work for the development of a corrosion and erosion monitoring model at Pearl Research Center in France. As part of his contribution to the younger generation and society at large, he leads a mentorship program for young adults and persons requiring mentorship and direction. He's also involved in a lot of volunteering and academic support projects for the less privileged. He was an adjunct lecturer as a corporate social responsibility program, delivering free petroleum engineering lectures at the University of Port Harcourt between 2006 and 2007. He, together with his wife, founded the Aspire for Excellence Foundation, an organization with the objective of bringing positive change to the world, one person at a time. Welcome, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So I guess right now we could start. Thank you very much, I would say, for having me. And please confirm you can see the slides.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So we are taking personal leadership, becoming the architect of your life. So this is the part 2. We started this session last month, okay? And last month we talked about a number of things, okay? We began by asking everyone on the call to undertake a reality check. And we asked the question, we said, if your life stays exactly the way it is for the next 5 years, would you be proud or would you be regretful? And we had a number of people, it had a number of reflections, I would say. And thereafter, we say that life always gives you opportunities, life also gives you chances. Just like the gentleman you see, should he go to the right? Should he go to the left? Where is he going to take him to? Then I also began by telling you a brief story about myself, of something that happened to me in my third year, first semester in the university. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to repeat that. If you want to get the story, just click on the YouTube link. You will see it's all recorded there, and you can listen to it and you can go through it. But what I'm trying to say is, I had like, call it an aha moment. I had a personal leadership moment in my year 3 first semester, and that has driven me to where I am this day. So if you want more stories about that, you want to check up on the details, please check on YouTube our page, the Aspire for Excellence Foundation channel, and you can see that. And they can drop it now for you also in the chat box, and you can check later. And when you check it, do well to like, do well to share. And we began by also saying that leadership is not a position, okay? It's self-governance. Can you help us mute your mics, please? Please, John, George, please help us mute, please. Thank you. Personal leadership, we said, is about taking responsibility for your life's outcomes. And that's what we said. And we said that if you don't first take an outcome for your life, you can't even take an outcome for the people you lead. Just like the Bible will say, if a man cannot lead his home, how then can he be able to lead the church of God? So, but you see that everything starts personal. Everything starts with you. You are the foundation. You are the bedrock. Okay. If you're going to lead a pack of people, if you're a man and you have a family, you want to lead that pack of family, eventually it starts with you. If you're in an organization and you are a manager or something like that, and you want to lead your L-1s or the people who report to you, that personal leadership, you have to take it. It starts with you. And we went ahead to say that until you lead yourself, you cannot lead anything meaningful in life. We're just doing a recap before we go into what we have to do today. In terms of refreshing your mind, we talked about the problem that sometimes many people feel stuck, just like that man we have just seen. He feels stuck. Should he go to the left? Should he go to the right? What should he do? If, for example, in Nigeria, you don't need to look for problems. The problems are too plenty. Every man is responsible for his food, he's responsible for his water, the road, he will tar the road to his house. In fact, if he needs water, he's a local government of himself, the average Nigerian, because he will need to put borehole. You understand me, for himself. He will need to pay for this and pay for that. So the average Nigerian, the system itself configures you to be very highly independent. Yeah, it's not like that in other countries. And even in other countries, sometimes you have what they call a social security system, network for people who are probably people who do not probably have a means of life. In this country, there is nothing like that, if you see what I mean. And so that configures everyone to be in a race right from the very beginning. And you are asking, how can I do this? How can I do that? And that's where you see that personal leadership is really, really, really required. And we went ahead to say, stop blaming the government, stop blaming the economy, or stop saying that you do not have connections. Remember, we talked about 3 circles. If you can remember what we talked about, I'm just giving a refresh. We talked about the circle of control. If you remember, we talked about the circle of influence, okay? And we talked about the circle of concern. And we said you need to be spending much of your time not on circle of concern. That, of course, the oil is $100 per barrel. America is fighting war in Iran. All those things have made prices to go up. There is war in Ukraine and Russia. There can be too many problems, too much that can fill a notebook if you want to write that. But what we were saying is this: you don't drive your life by putting your energy on putting your energy on your circle of concern. Rather, focus your energy on your circle of control. Focus it on your circle of influence, and your circle of control are the things within your network, within your life that you can change. A skill you can learn, a book you can read, a job you can have, a connection you can make, or something that can drive your life forward in the direction of your dreams. And we say you may not be able to control the environment. However, you are responsible for what? For your response. Okay, so this is what we said, and we said in order to do this, for most of the times, focus on your circle of control and less time on your circle of concern, and that way your life will go in the right direction. Please do well to mute your microphones, please, as you join. Do well to please mute your microphones as you join. So let's go further. We talked about 3 pillars, if you remember. And we said pillar number 1 talks about ownership. Everything begins with you. It starts with me. And I told you about, I think it was Harry Truman, if I'm not mistaken, one of the presidents of the United States of America. And he kept a sign on his table. He says, as a president of the United States, the buck stops with me. If something is not working in the United States when he was the president, it stops essentially with me. It stops where I am. Okay, and so that's exactly what that attitude that we want you to understand, that you need to stop the blame cycle. You can't go up by looking backwards. Okay, if you really want to go further, if you want to take responsibility for your life, first thing you need to do is to stop the blame cycle. This is what we said the last time, and we said that in life you need to take responsibility for your skills. Okay, take responsibilities for your attitude, take responsibility for your growth. All these are within your circle of control. Okay, like it's normally said, preparation plus opportunity, it's equal to success. You don't have the opportunity today, that is true, but at least you can work on it. You can prepare yourself, you can prepare your skills, you can work on your attitudes, and someday you could have that opportunity, and eventually you chance into a success. Eventually, we also said that I think it was Winston Churchill who said this. Yes, Britain's wartime prime minister, who said this. He said, responsibility is the price of greatness. So if there's anything you're going to do with your life, if you're going to drive your life in the right direction, it starts with taking responsibility. It's not a question of say, it's my father's fault, it's my mother's fault, they didn't give birth to me in America, I wish I was born in Canada. Face it, wake up. You're already a Nigerian, you're already in Nigeria, you're already here. Okay, so there is no need, okay, to quarrel. Like they say, a bad workman quarrels with his tools. There is no need to quarrel with your tools. Okay, do a practical audit, a personal practical audit of your life. Where am I now? That's the beginning point. It starts with you. And essentially, where am I going to? Okay, what is working in my life and what is not working? Because often, sometimes in life, some people think that to get to where they need to do, it often means you have to start doing something you are not doing, which is correct. You have to start to learn new things, which is good, but sometimes it's also in stopping some of the things that you are doing, and that's where a personal practical audit comes in, and you table everything in your life. And I gave you a definition the last time. I told you my commandant is school. He used to say fool is something that does not know and does not know that he does not know. You get it? So it needs to start essentially with you. What do you need to stop doing in your life today? Take a personal audit. Do you need to stop one habit, one dark habit that it's in your life that is pulling you back and back and back? Before you now think of what you need to start doing. Oftentimes, changes in life, it's a combination of something you need to stop doing and other things you need to start doing. And I gave you this, and I told you about the issue that happened to me in school. I started my year 1 with a 1.6. I came 3 to 4 months late, like I told you. I told you about the things. I'm not going to go through those stories again. And I told you how I stopped some things and how I started doing other things. Essentially, You are the author, the architect of your. What I mean is of where you want to be in life. So you have to take a conscious decision to replace your excuses. That was pillar number one. And we remember we talked about pillar number two. We talked about discipline. And discipline says, I do what must be done, period. I do what must be done, period. Nobody is asking you for a bag of excuses. No one is asking you for anything like that. Why? Because excuses, like you know them, will eventually lead you to a mountain of nothingness. Because excuses take no one anywhere. You can have 1,000,001 excuses when you are asked to do something, but excuses will never drive you in the direction of your dreams. If you have to do something, then period, that is it. You have to face it, you have to man it up. And this is what separates the girls from the women. This is what separates the boys from the men. Here, exactly, it is. You know, some people can hear something like this, very inspirational, and the very next day they say, hey, where you there? I'm going to do this. They set very ambitious goals and targets. 2-3 days down the line, 1 week down the line, they are flat as a flat tire can be. And many of us know that a flat tire will never deliver the journey. It will not go simply because you have a flat tire. And so for discipline is really where the rubber meets the road. Success, like we said, is built on habits. It's not on motivation. It's not on taking a dopamine high. No, it's the discipline. And many times you find out that people who are disciplined, they are better off. Finally, they achieve the zenith of their dreams. They are better than people who are multi-talented. In fact, because many people who are multi-talented, sometimes they don't know whether to do A, B, or C. And because they are multi-talented and they do not bring that effort every day, you find out that sometimes, even with the multiple talents they have, they do not arrive at the place of their dreams. Why? Because of lack of discipline. We talked about some focus areas. We talked about time management. I'm not going to go into all these things because we have a lot of things that we've got to do today. We talked of consistency, showing up every morning, showing up. I heard of a footballer. Many people argue that he's one of the greatest footballer of our time. They call him GOAT. You know, I'm not going to call his name because many people have different people they adore as sports stars. But you hear that he comes 1 hour before practice time and he leaves 1 hour after practice time. Every day he has a practice. You don't expect others to deliver the same results like he does. I heard one basketballer, when he was talking about his life history, very good basketballer in the US, he said for every day he throws the ball into the net about 5,000 times in practice. Imagine throwing it 5,000 times. So when you see him on the pitch, he's scoring 3 points from a very long distance. He's throwing into the ball. You say, how is he doing it? Or is there something behind this? Or is he taking something that we others are not taking? Many of the times, it's consistency. A disciplined man will always overcome a talented man. I repeat, in the race of life, in the journey of life, a disciplined man will always overcome a talented man. We talked a bit about delayed gratification, if you see what I mean. We said in delayed gratification, many times when the fruits come, you need to hold yourself back. You need to have a time to sacrifice. You need to have some time to pay the price. Like we are normally told, and I think my mom told me something like this before she died, before she passed off. Say, hey, young boy, if you play today, you will pay the price tomorrow in your old age. But if you pay the price today, when you are young, then tomorrow you have a lot of options and you can play, or you can take a vacation, or you can do whatsoever you want to do. So it's your choice. You play today, in your old age, you pay for it. Or you decide, now I have strength. Now I have energy. I pay the price here. I show up, I do what must be done, because in the future, I want to be able to have a number of options. And you see that a number of times, especially with people who are going to retire or something like that. And because they have not taken time to prepare for their retirement, by that time the retirement is coming, you begin to see they are hazy, you begin to see that they are jittery, you begin to see, and they say, I have nothing in stock. You know, when the Englishman say make hay when the sun shines, that's exactly what it means. It means that in life you have the morning, you have the afternoon, and you have the evening, and you have the night. These are 4 seasons of life. You actually prepare for your evening and your night session in your morning and in the afternoon of your life. The first 25 years are the morning seasons of your life. If you play with the first 25 years of your life, it will be difficult for you to catch up between 25 and 50. And exactly that is the truth. And what's more, if you play with your life between 25 and 50, forget it when you are between 50 and 75, because what you are going to see, you are not essentially going to like it. We talked about practical tools that one can use. We talked about learning. We talked about your health. We all need to watch our health, and we talk about excellence. I think we are going to go further. The final thing we talked about in terms of pillar 3, in terms of personal leadership, becoming the architect of your life, we said the final thing is direction. Remember, number 1, we talked about ownership. Number 2, we talked about discipline. And number 3, we now talked about, and this is where we stopped, if I remember very well, we talked about direction. I know where I am going. Most achievers, most great men, most great women, they are full of purpose. They may not have so much money in their pocket at the beginning, but somehow they have a lot of purpose. They know exactly where they are going. And that event essentially helps them. So I'm not really going to focus here, like I told you. I will just probably slide into the next slide, and then we can begin properly the session for today. Now I'm going to be talking about the enemies of personal leadership. Of course, I've talked about personal leadership. I've talked about taking responsibility for your life. But in life generally, we need to know the things we need to avoid if we really, really want to get to the best and the zenith of our dreams. Remember, life is not about comparing yourself with other people. You are not in a competition with anyone. You first need to understand that. You are actually in a competition with yourself. You are in a competition with your destiny. That thing, you know, children, when you see children, you ask children, what do you want to be? When they're very innocent, I want to be this, I want to be doctor, I want to be lawyer, I want to be engineer, I want to be different things. Come back 20 years. That child said that at the age of 5 or 7. After 20 years, you come and ask that child that same question. You will see that the way the child will respond at 27 is different from the way the child responded at 7. Why? Because between that time, many waters has crossed the bridge. And many people do not really realize their potentials, not only for themselves, but also for their children. And you may say it is too late now. No, it is not too late. And even if you think it is too late for you, you can begin ingraining these qualities in the life of your children. Our children are here during holidays. This is the season right now to ingrain the quality. Actually, wealth is not the total amount of money you have in the bank. Wealth, neither is it the land and the properties essentially that you have. It's actually a summation of your value systems and how that value systems have had impact, positive impact, I mean, on the lives of others. That is really, really, really true wealth. And these are people, and those are people the world remembers. You will always forget, you may always forget the man who has a lot of money or who has a big house down your street, but you can never ever forget the person who had the greatest impact on your life. And that is true wealth, and that is a true value system. So when we talk about the enemies of personal leadership, one of them is procrastination. Procrastination is a thief. You know, when they say a thief, in Hausa, I think they call it barawo. You understand it? In Yoruba, I think they call it ole. I think in Igbo, I think it's called onyoshi. So exactly what it means is The same thing, but procrastination is a thief. It steals the most important asset of your life. And if I ask you, what is the most important asset of your life? Some people will say, my money in Zenith Bank, or my money in GTB, or my money. No, that's not it. How many of you know that life is measured in what is called packets of time? That's why they say of your lifetime. Your lifetime. What did you do in your lifetime? Remember, if you go to the graveyard today, you will see, I just take a random name, Mr. Sonny James, 1920, or let's say 1960 to 2006. You see a small dash that is engraved in the tombstone of that gentleman, Mr. Sonny Douglas, or Sonny James, or whatever name you call it. That little dash you see there, as small as that dash is, from 1960 to 2026, that dash is a summation of how long he has lived. That dash is a summation of his entire life. But as small as that dash is, the value of his life is in that dash. If he procrastinated, the value of that dash will be very small. If he used his life to add impact for himself and in the lives of others, the value of that small dash is very, very big, both in this life and also in the life to come. Procrastination means postponing things over and over. When tomorrow comes, you say, hey, I can't do it. Just like yesterday, it rained a lot heavily yesterday, and many people who had meetings to go, they called to cancel, as if they were salt. If you are salt, I can understand. But if you are not salt and you have an appointment to keep, whether it rains or not, you should keep your appointment, because your word must be your bond. Procrastination is an enemy of personal leadership. And why it's so dangerous is because you don't need a supervisor. You take that decision yourself. So there are things you have told yourself. I will start this when I'm 30. I will do this when I'm 35. I will do this next week. Next week will come, you will say the other next week. Next week will come, you say the other. I was discussing with a set of my mentees today. I gave them an assignment. How many of you have not done this? 3 or 4 people raised their hands. Why haven't you done it? And a lot of people were giving a lot of excuses. And I told them, excuses are several building blocks that takes you to a mountain of nothingness. That's what excuses are. Now, remember what I told you about discipline. Stop the procrastination. It begins with a decision. It begins with you saying, hey, my life from today, it goes in a different direction. So procrastination, number 1, is the thief of time. It takes your time out of your life, and eventually your lifetime becomes very short. I repeat, procrastination is a thief of time. It takes your time out of your life, and eventually your lifetime becomes very short in impact, in achievement, in greatness, and in responsibility. Many people have died more out of procrastination than the fact that they never died empty. They didn't die with fulfilling their dreams. I remember I told you last month, I said you may be born naked in this world, but you need to understand that you were never born empty. Every one of us was born naked. Nobody came out of his mother's womb with a jeans and a shiny shirt, white shirt. No, saying, I am going to be this person. No, everybody came naked. But you were born naked, but you were never born empty. The challenge is this. Are you going to offload what you have inside of you in this life before you pass away? Sure, everyone is going to pass away, but the greatest impact of your life is the impact you have on yourself, your value system, your society, your family, and also the impact you have on others. Can you help us mute your mic, please? Assistants, please help mute the mics, please. Thank you. The second thing has to do with fear of failure. It's an enemy of personal leadership. Fear of failure. There are many people, they know that they are supposed to do this thing. But rather they say, what if I fail? What if it doesn't succeed? Now I ask you, what if it succeeds? Because many times the difference between failure and success, it's just the decision to start. Have you ever witnessed this? That sometimes you, your colleagues, and different people, all of you have one idea at the same time. The same idea. But some people, rather than work on that idea, you need to understand that ideas are a gift. And that's why if you work amongst people and when you ask, can you give me a feedback, you set up a feedback loop. If they give you a feedback, treat that feedback as a gift. It may be a constructive criticism, yes, but it's going to propel your life in the right direction. And so fear of failure is something we need to overcome if we are going to get to the zenith of our dreams. In fact, if you are going to be afraid of anything, fear failure. Rather than being afraid that you will fail and it paralyzes you so that you don't do it. There is something called analysis paralysis. You want to do something, instead of doing it, you analyze, if I do it like this, if I don't do it like this, what if I change? That's called analysis paralysis. Okay. You set your mind somewhere. Of course, you should have some time to think, do your work, do the maths. But you should take a giant step. And you know, this was the words of, I think it was Neil Armstrong. Yes, I think it was Neil Armstrong. I think it was in 1969. Remember, there was the Cold War between the US and the USSR at that time, and they were racing to get to the moon. Okay, this is what some history books say. And when Neil Armstrong was taking a march on the moon, he said, "This, it's as I take this step, this is a step." Not just a step for myself, it's a step for mankind. Sometimes the steps you take in your life is not a step for yourself, it's a step for mankind. It's a step for your children. It's a step for your children's children. Imagine if Dangote never did the refinery he did today. Probably with this Iran war and the rest of them, the price of fuel would have gone more than what it is today. Who knows? I don't know. There are steps you take. Your children will feed off it. Your children's children will feed off it, because you took that step, maybe to start that business or maybe to take that job. You know, most of the decisions you take today, you need to understand that it doesn't stop with you. It has impact not just on your family, it has impacts on your descendants. So when you rob your generation, in fact, that's why it's so bad, because you don't only rob yourself the fulfillment of your dreams, you rob your immediate children and your children's children the right to have a kind of heritage that they should have had. Why? Because of fear of failure. And that's why someone said, do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. As long as you've done your maths, okay? Because of course, before you do things, you need to do your risk analysis, if you see what I mean. But you need to be very prudent. Make sure you've asked some professionals, you've consulted. So be sure that your mind is not, you're not going wacko. You're not going just alone. And you are benchmarking with other people who are your peers also in the industry to say, hey, I have this idea. This is really what I want to do. What do you think about it? Can we do it like that? That's something legitimate. Okay, of course, you know, there is what they call a healthy fear. And that's exactly what it is. Because if not, you could have just jumped from a building and say, hey, I've heard a message that I should not be afraid of anything. Okay, I go to the 17th floor. Let me jump down. Mommy, what you will see when you come down, you no go like him. Okay, let's talk about peer pressure. Peer pressure is also an enemy of personal leadership. And I tell you a story, you know, because if you allow your life to be driven by peer pressure, and that's exactly what happens to many people. Their lives are not driven by their internal compass, by their value systems. Their life is driven by, hey, what are people saying we should invest in today? Hey, what are people saying we should do today? No, that's not how life is lived, you know? If you live life like that, you'll be like a wandering star going nowhere, achieving nothing, and essentially dying with nothing out of the world. The story is told about a man. He was going on a journey and he had a mule, okay, like a horse, like a camel. In those days, the primary way of transportation, there were no cars, okay. They had a mule, they had a horse, they had a beast of burden that they used to walk. And if they were traveling from point A to point B, they will stack their load on top of the mule, and they will themselves from time to time they will ride on the beast. And this man, he put his son, he was traveling from one city to another. He put his son on the beast, and of course, their luggage, because they were traveling a long distance. And as they were traveling, some people, he met some people along the way. They said, "But this man, why are you doing this? The boy he's a young boy. He's a teenager, and you're an old man. Why should you put him on the base? You are the one who should be on the base. Bring down that boy, and you jump on the moon, because your years you are old." And the man said, "Okay, I think that is true." He brought the young boy down. Himself, he went on top of the mule, and they were traveling. They traveled a little bit again. Some people said, "Hey, this man is the most wicked man I've ever known. The only son he has, he gave back to him. He will soon die off. The only son he has, his son is striking. Him is on the beast. This man must be very wicked." He heard that. He said, "Okay, let's see what to do." He now said, "Okay, now my son, now let us climb on top of the beast." Himself, the son, with his luggage, they were all on the beast, and they were going for a long journey. And as they were moving, some other people, they said, "This man, he must be wacko. What is he doing? Himself, his son, the beast. This beast will never carry him to where he wants to be. In fact, this beast will collapse under him one day. He will never arrive at his destination in life." And eventually the man was confused, and he said, "Okay, two of us, let us come down. Let only the beast move with the luggage." What is the moral of the story? You can never do anything in your life that will please everybody. And I want you to take that lesson. Never live your life out of peer pressure. Never live your life out of peer pressure. The last enemy of personal leadership are talking about is your comfort zone. And we are all, most of the times, we are guilty. But really, this is where champions are made. Champions are those who can decide today they have a comfort zone, and they're going to leave their comfort zone to a seemingly unsecure future. It's exactly what happened to Abraham. Leave your family, leave your kindred, leave everybody to a land I will show you. What is the name of the place? I really don't even know, what I'm going to show it to you. So many times in life, when you want to achieve your dreams, you say, "Hey, the comfort of my home, the comfort of my parents, what am I really going to do? How am I really going to do it?" And I remember a story of myself when I finished my university. My parents were up north in Abuja as at that time, and I was faced with taking a decision. I said, "What do I do?" My parents had said, "Once you finish school, just come here up north in Abuja, and let's help you to get a job, or let's see what we can be done." And then I was thinking about it, but inside of me, I said, "No, what really do I want to do? How really do I want to live?" I identified an industry I wanted to work. I said, in that industry, where do they stay? They stay in this part of the country. And I moved my things. I didn't have pretty really well things lined up of people to stay with and the rest of them. Today, the rest is history, and I'm grateful because I took that decision. Yes, it wasn't comfortable for the first few years, but right now, remember the words I told you at the beginning. If you play today, you will pay the price tomorrow. If you pay the price today, you can now have options in your future when you have no strength, and you can now play. Many people are not stuck. They are just undisciplined, or they are unclear. These are the enemies of personal leadership. And my sincere thoughts and prayers to you is identify this. I don't know, maybe what is in your life is not here, but take an action today in your life. What is the self-limiting factor that is limiting me from unleashing my talents, unleashing my goals, unleashing my God-given dreams. Remember that when you came into this world, you didn't come for this world because you came to this world just for yourself. You came into this world because God had a reason, a purpose for you to be here. And He wants you to make an impact in the lives of others before you leave. Let's face it, we are all going to live here someday. But the question is, how are you going to live here? Now, let's look at this, the architect system. This is just a simple model for you to remember of what we call personal leadership. The A here stands for awareness. I've spoken about this today. Know your current reality. And in speaking with a set of mentees this morning, I was talking to them about awareness. Okay, even that case was about self-awareness. If you don't know where you are, you can't know where you want to where you want to go to. It always begins with a reality check, and it begins with you telling yourself the truth. What do I want to do with my life? Because your life is a gift from God, like I tell people. But what you do with your life eventually is your gift to God. I repeat, your life God has given to you is a gift. It's a sacred gift. And that's why when people take lives of other people, they are treated as criminals. Why? Because life is a gift. It's sacred. It's a sacred trust for you to be here. No need to tell you about reproductive biology, but you know that when a man meets a woman, we're told 1 million of sperm cells are released. And out of the million, only one, or at most two, when it is two, we call them twins. These days, we see quadruplets, which is 4. Or even at that, what is 4 compared to millions that have perished for you to be in this world? So if you're in this world, you've got to be intentional with your life. You need to first understand take a reality check as I speak right now in your life. What's happening in my life? It's going in the right direction. What areas do I need to stop doing some things? What are some things I need to start doing? You need to take that reality check and you need to write them down and you need to focus and to start working on them. It all begins with awareness. Okay. It all begins with you telling the truth to yourself and say, hey, I'm not where I am, and this is not where I want to be, but this is really what I want to do. 2, R stands for responsibility. Remember, I have spoken about responsibility. You need to own your outcomes for your life. We saw what Papa Adam did. It is the wife you gave me. We saw what Grandma Eve did. It is the serpent that came. So life begins with taking responsibility. Were they spared after giving the excuses? No, the hammer will still fall. You will always live with the impact of your decisions and your indecisions. I repeat, you will always live with the consequences and the impact of the decisions you make, the choices you make today, and even the ones you fail to make. P, consistency. Remember I talked about this consistency. This you do daily. Set a daily routine program for yourself. Daily discipline. And that's how you know champions. How do you know champions? It's not by what they say, it's by what they do. Because talk is cheap. Talk is easy. If you have a lot of data these days, go to social media, you can talk about your father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie. There will be always people to listen to you. You can even talk about sweet nonsense. There will be people that will follow you that way if you want it. But that's not the way life goes. You've got to be consistent. You need to have, and that's where the rubber meets the road, like I said the last time. There's daily disciplines that you need to. Nobody will be there to say, wake up 5 o'clock or wake up 6 o'clock. No, nobody's going to pursue you. When you were a child in school, yes, you had people pursuing you. Hey, read your book. In life, when you become nobody will say, read your book. Mommy, if you study, you see the result. If you do this, you see. And nature, life has a way of paying people back. So consistency is the name of the game. We talked, okay, H talks about habits, okay? A bit similar to consistency, but here we're talking about building systems, not just wishes. Because if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. But here we're talking about forming habits, you know, several habits you can form in your life. I was talking to some people this morning about journaling. Okay, there are habits you form in your life. It's okay. I'm going to wake up at so time every day because I want to give the first 1 hour or the first 1.5 hours to read, to study, or to get a skill or to improve. That is a habit you are forming. And the moment you form those habits and you work with those habits, you begin to see that your life sometimes begins to advance in the right direction. I told you about this my story last month, okay? And I'm not going to go there again, also because of time. I stands for what? Intentionality. You've got to be intentional about your life. Remember, I told you that your life is a gift from God. However, your own gift to God is how you decide to live that life. You know, in those days in Nigeria, they will say life no get duplicate. Okay, there used to be an advert those days. It's a life, it no get duplicate. There's no duplicata for your life. You live it once and it is gone. So if you know you're going to live life by design, if you know you're going to live life, so don't live it by default, live it by design. Design it. Of course, I'm not saying 100% of what you design is going to come to pass, but essentially you have a way to steer your life to some extent anyway. To some extent, you know, it's not good to be fatalistic. You say what's gonna be, it's gonna be. What goes up must. Remember that song? I think it was Bongo Zico that sang the song. What's gonna be, it's gonna be. What goes up, that's a fatalistic way of thinking. You can't arrive anywhere if you have that philosophy. And if the operating system of your life is, mommy, what's gonna be, is gonna be. What goes up must come down. You may eventually find yourself on the floor. Huh? But that's not God's desire for you. And I believe that's not even your desire for yourself. Intentionally live life by design. And you see that most people who do these things, eventually at the end of the day, and I said, life is not about competing with others. I hope you know. Those days when we were in school, there used to be a book that was written, My Mercedes is Bigger Than Yours. I think it used to be one of those Pace Setter series. I am not sure those, I don't know if those books are in the market today, but we read it for literature in those days. My Mercedes is bigger than yours. But that's not what we are talking about here. It's not a competition with your neighbor, it's a competition with yourself. Because you are the only one who knows your true worth, your true value. You are the only one who knows that when you came into this world, you were preloaded. And I think there was someone who says that when he wants to leave this world, he wants to die empty. He doesn't want to die full. I think it was Masmuro. He says he wants to die empty, so that by the time he goes, he has given everything of his life he wants to give. He talks about tracking. You always have to measure progress. And it's up to you how you want to measure the progress in your life. Because actually in life, you can never improve what you don't measure. I repeat, you can never improve what you do not measure. And that's why in offices and projects, they talk about KPIs, key performance indicators, and they tell you what is the tendency. Are we going north, or are we going south, or are we steady? And if we are going north, what are the critical success factors that is making us to go north? If we are going south, what are the things we are doing that is making us go south that we need to avoid? If we are steady, what are the further actions that we need to, or other things we need to implement, to be able to turn the needle to the upper region? You hear of these things if you're a professional in the work and a working class, because the life itself is obsessed by progress. The way you are today is not the way you should be in the next 1 year, in the next 3, in the next 6 months. Life is all about measuring progress. And that brings me to the next word, improvement or evolution. You have to constantly do something to improve yourself. Okay. Either you are reading a book, you are adding a skill to yourself, but just someone said age is not, it's just a number. It's not measured by how many years. Age is actually how well you are renewing your mind, the information you are unlearning and you are relearning at each point in time. I will want to talk about contribution when I'm talking about personal leadership. And here is the crux of the matter. Your life has to add value to others. And that's essentially what we are doing here in a little scale. And it mustn't be somewhere like this. The mother who has 5 children she's training and she's putting her best into those children, she's a champion, whether you believe it or not, because she's adding good ethical values in the lives of those children. And who knows, those children may become a president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, a commissioner, or something somewhere. Because let's face it, the ills we have in our society, they always come from families. And if there is a dysfunction in the family, there's automatically there'll be dysfunction in the society, because the family is the basic unit of every society, if you see what I mean. Always think, what is my contribution? I think there was one president of America who said, ask not what your country can do for you, but rather ask what you can do for your country. If a president of Nigeria come and tell us that one in broadcast, maybe 1st of October 2026, you will imagine what the reaction will be on social media the next morning. But in any case, what I'm telling you is always think in terms of value. What value can I add before I go? Because you are finite, your resources are finite. You will never be here forever. Always think in terms of value. And that's where personal leadership comes. What value am I adding? What value really do I want to add? And how well really will I want to be remembered? The final thing I want to talk about, the architect system, a simple model to remember personal leadership, is transformation. Don't die empty. Don't die small. You owe the world. You're on assignment into this world. Become the person you were meant to be. God forbid, but if you live this world the way you are now, would you have lived a full life? If your answer is no, then it means you need to get to work. Now, enough of me speaking. I want to give you an exercise, okay? And let's see if we can have an interactive section, okay? Can you please, if you have, get a pen, get a paper, you know, in class, you have teachers and you have assignments, and teachers are known for assignments. Can you get a sheet of paper wherever you are, or even if it is on your phone? I want us to do this together. Can you write one area of your life you have been avoiding responsibility? Just one. Not 2, not 3, just one. Can you do that, please? Write one area of your life. We are 125 people here today. Write one area of your life where you have been dodging responsibility. Please. Can you write it? Just tell yourself the truth. Remember, you cannot lie to yourself, because honestly in life, the worst person to deceive is yourself. When you so much deceive and deceive and deceive, and it's like somebody who hides the key to the house. You so hide the key that when it is time to go out of the house, you say, hey, where is that key again? And maybe something is happening, fire is burning, you want to run, you don't know where the key is. You have trapped yourself at the end of the day, because you so hid the key that you hid the key from yourself. When you want to be saved, no way. So this is my assignment for you. Please, I want everybody to take this assignment. I'm not marking your paper, please. It's for you. But studies have shown that when you pass information to people, if people don't take an action immediately, they are always likely to forget that decision that they want to take. Almost always likely to forget that decision. And that's why I have told you today, write this. What one area of your life, just one area of your life, you have been avoiding responsibility, and tell yourself the truth and keep it to yourself. Nobody is asking you to tell anybody. It's your personal secret with your God. Number 2, which one habit you must build immediately. Write it down. Is it waking up early in the morning? Is it reading a book a month or something? Is it one habit you need to stop? It's a dark side. You know, I was telling my mentees this morning about what happened, between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Okay. When Bill Clinton was in power as the president of the United States, it was all over the place. It's public news. So sometimes one little charisma can take you up, but sometimes it's character that will keep you there. That character. Yeah. So what one habit you must build immediately? Can you write it down, please? Please write it on your phone. Write it. Take a sheet of paper, but just do something. Don't just be looking like me, like Luku, or like a Lukumon. Just do something. Take a decision right now. This is an interactive session. One habit you must build immediately. Remember, we're talking about your life here, okay? And life no get duplicate like they normally say. The final thing I will want you here to do is one goal of your life. Okay, write down one goal of your life you want to achieve in the next 12 months. So that by June, God sparing our lives, 2027, you will tick the box and say, this one thing I have achieved in my life. One goal of your life for the next 12 months. Can you please write it down? Okay, you have some few seconds to write it down. Just one. Remember, we're asking you for one. We're not asking you for two, not too much. Just one. One is enough to start. What goal in that your life that if you achieve it in the next 12 months, you say, I thank God I attended this webinar this day because it has pushed my life in the right direction. Okay, please mute your mic. Thank you. Have you all written it? Let me see. Okay, I can see some hands up. Beautiful, Josephine, George Zion, thank you so much. Who else? Okay, Sikak. Okay, a good number of people. Timothy, Esther, beautiful. Esther Okunji. Okay, that's excellent. Thank you very much for that. Please, Chris. Okay, very good. Now, remember, it's your assignment. Nobody's going to mark it. Lucky, goodness, Sule, good. Thank you very much. Nobody's going to ask you, Gift Roman, Caleb. Good. Okay, now let's go because we're almost there. We're almost finished. Okay. Now you have written it. I want to beg you, please. I beg you. If I could kneel down here, I will kneel down and beg you. Please mute your mics. Please. If I could beg you right now, I will plead with you. You have just taken a commitment. Please, I beg you, do something about it. We're talking about your life here. Do something. One area of your life you've been avoiding responsibility. You've written it down. Decide, I'm not going to avoid responsibility in that area. Remember, I told you about procrastination, the thief of time. One habit you must build immediately. Start, if not this night, start tomorrow morning. Start, break inertia. Remember Newton's law of motion. I think the first law of motion. All objects, or all objects that are stationary or in constant motion, okay, they need a force to be able to move them if they are going to move. I'm paraphrasing the Newton's first law of motion. So you need that initial, and that's, I'm acting as that initial for you now. Move, brother, do something. I'm not going to tell you Bamurege, even though I've said it. But do something, sister. Do something. Move. That one habit. Tomorrow morning, do it. Just do it. Close your eyes and do it. It may be a business you are trying to set up. It may be a book you are trying to read. It may be a skill you are trying to learn. It may be something. So just do something to improve your life. Next year must not catch you like this. The last thing is one goal of your life you need to build for the next 12 months. Write it. Just one. Only one. Do something about it. Because you find out that it will help you to be fulfilled. It will help you to be happy. This thing I'm talking about, it's something called the science of success or the science of fulfillment. It can extend your life by 12 to 15 years. Because you are doing something you love, you are doing something, and it's taking away worry, it's taking away sickness away from you. Because you are enjoying your life. And the older you get, the better your life should be. Because it means that with experience, you are making better and better decisions every day. So we're going to round up now. In conclusion, your life will not change by chance. It will change by choice. I repeat. Some people, they pray. They say, I'm just going to pray. Yeah, prayer is good. But when you finish closing your eye, wake up, sister, open your eye. Your life will not change by chance. It will change by choice. Remember the story I told you about myself last month in my third year in the university? Almost getting to be rusticated from the university because I had 1.6. I came 3 months late. School resumed in September. I was landing in school in January. I had failed, I think, Maths 102 and Chem 102 or something like that. Almost going to be rusticated from the university. Almost. But I took a choice. I took a decision. I took responsibility for my life. And that has helped me to where I am today. Are you going to take a choice? Are you going to take responsibility? Or it won't be by chance. Some people say, let God bring an angel investor to help me. Let God bring, what do you call it? Destiny helper. That's the new name Nigeria call it. I'm praying for a destiny helper. Who told you the destiny helper doesn't want his own destiny to be helped? No. I'm not saying destiny helpers will not come, but let them find you in the direction of your choice. Let them find you in the direction of your dreams. Then it's a lot better. It's far better for somebody to say, okay, I want to do a business. I have 30% and I'm looking for 70%. That is better than somebody say, I don't have any money at all. I beg, just give me, let me start. If you cannot come, even put an equity in the business you want to do, and you don't trust your business to put your personal money, how then can other people trust you for that business to run? And banks do this excellently well. My final call to action to you today is start small, but start immediately. That was the reason why I gave you that assignment initially. And I asked you to take one decisive action within 24 hours. Just one action in 24 hours. I told you about the decision I took when I left my school. I came to my hostel and I told myself that from today in this department, I will be the best student. I just took that decision. And from 1.6, I became the second best student in my department. And I graduated with a 2-1 by God's mercy and by God's grace. But it started with one decisive action I took. Now, what if I didn't take that action that day? To understand this, you need to listen to last month's webinar. It's on YouTube. So the assistants will share the link for you to understand what I'm saying now, because some people were over 120 something today. So some people may not understand exactly what we are saying. It's coming from what we said in the last one. The final word I want to leave with you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your future. And can you please say that to yourself? I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am the architect of my future. Can you please say that to yourself, please? I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am the architect of my future. Say that to yourself. Write it, please, in the chat box right now. Please write it in the chat box right now as I speak. Write it right now, please. Say it. I am not a victim of my circumstance. I am the architect of my future. Let's check the chat box. Let's see if people are writing this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is anyone writing? Has anyone written that? Please write it. Say it to yourself. Write it. You are not a victim of your circumstance. You are the architect of your life. I told you what happened to me in my year 3 in the university. I was failing. I was almost getting to be rusticated from the university because I arrived very late. And I was running away from further maths in school. I was doing engineering and I was running away. The mathematics I ran away from in secondary school, I eventually met it in engineering first semester and second semester. And I told myself, this further maths I ran away from is the basics in year 1. I said, oh my God, I wish I did it in secondary school. Now I have met it. I came 3-4 months late in the university. I'm on the verge of failure, about to leave the university. What am I going to do? But I took a decision. I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am an architect of my future. Ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I want to draw the curtain and I want to thank you sincerely for coming tonight for the concluding part on personal leadership, becoming the architect of your life. I am ready to take any questions now. You can put the questions in the chat box, or you can unmute your microphones and we will take your questions. It will be shared on the YouTube channel, please. It's going to be shared on the YouTube channel. So you can look at the one for last month and you can look at the one for today. And you could also like, share with others if it has helped you. So thank you very much for having me. And I'm truly, truly grateful to have contributed to your life and to your success. Thank you so much. So let's have your questions now tonight. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can raise up your hands and we'll call you one after the other so that it's not a rowdy session, okay? Just raise your hands up or you put it in the chat box. There are 3 hands I see up. I haven't seen something in the chat box yet, so we'll start with those who are here. Timothy, your hand is up. Is this an old hand or is it a new one? So it's a bit difficult for me to understand. So Timothy, your hand is up. That's the first one I see here. You have a question? Just unmute your mic and ask very quickly. Okay, if Timothy is not there, we can jump to Walter. Walter, please.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone. Okay, so mine is it's not a question, but it's more for me like it's more of an appreciation, sir, to you, Engineer Mike. 16 years ago, I know precisely, I think it was CCM Photo Alumni Reunion. You told this exact story of how the struggle you had coming in and how that prompts from that lecturer changed your life. And I must say personally that from that day for me, I was on in the same exact situation, and for me too, that was my own jumping a pivotal point where I jumped from almost very deep in a 2-2 to eventually graduating with a 2-1. I arrived late, got my registration number second year, second semester. I came when they were already writing exams, almost the same story. And I know, from time to time, I've learned from you indirectly and sometimes directly. But for me, I just said I should use the opportunity to tell you thank you. for what these learnings and these teachings are very, very critical. I think for me, one thing I will even take out today is procrastination. If you keep procrastinating, eventually, if you wake up, your impact may be short, and you would, for want of a better word, have some time in be living with some regrets, and also of taking action and taking action immediately. So, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, engineer.
Thank you so much, Walter. Thank you. 15 years ago. Wow. I don't know. I think by then I didn't have all this white hair. All this
It was
white hair
2010.
I'm
You
seeing
did it,
here.
sir. You did it, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so
Thank you,
that's
sir.
warming. Thank you so much. And that's what we are talking about. You don't know the impacts you make. So let's wake up. Don't rob your generation, please. Don't rob your children and your children's children. Okay. Wake up. Do that thing that you've got to do, please. Okay. Because you don't know, it may be a small decision for you, but it may be a mighty decision for your generation. Remember. Any questions again? If you have, you can raise up your hand and we'll call you. I'm checking the chat box now. Can't seem to find any question in the chat box. Remember to like, share, please, on the YouTube channel. I'm checking the chat box to see if I have any questions. Can't seem to see any in the chat box. Okay, when there are no questions, sometimes the teacher will ask, did I do a good job? Or it was perfect. It's any of those two. Let me now check if there's any hand up. Okay, I can't find any hand up. Okay. All right, it doesn't seem as though there is any hand up. Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to thank you so much for listening tonight. If there is no question, I can't see any hand up. Is there any question, please? One more minute or two. I know we still have some time. Okay, thank you very much, Shola. Okay. Any question? Okay, no question. Okay.
I
All
have
right.
a question.
Okay, so go ahead, madam. We are waiting for you, Josephine. Madam Josephine.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you for pouring your knowledge onto us, sir. Please, I want you to take another recount because I joined late. The first day, procrastination, I missed a little bit of it, sir.
Okay. If we do it now, okay, no problem, madam. What I will tell you is we're going to paste the video, okay? Madam, you're on social media, right? You know YouTube, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So what can happen is, we have a YouTube channel. It's inside this chat as I speak to you now. Okay. Before it goes, all you will do is, as I speak now, sorry, can you send the YouTube channel link for her, please? So that she can just click on it and you can have it, subscribe, and later on you can see it. You see the one for last month. Because if I start it now, I'm going to take everybody's time and it's not good to penalize those who have been here. Okay.
Okay.
Can
sir.
you share the link? Okay, there is a link right now, right there, please. The Aspire for Excellence Foundation link on YouTube. Madam, please, can you click on it, please? Okay. Have you done that, madam?
Yes, sir.
Check the link, please. Have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you please click on it? Okay.
Yes,
So you will see the
sir.
ones you've done it. Great. You will see the ones we've done in the past. The ones that we have just done today, it's going to be ready maybe in, let's call it 24 to 48 hours. It's going to be uploaded on that site. So you'll be able to go through it. And that's the reason why it's recorded. I hope that's okay for you, madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. So it's my time now to thank you. We're over 125 today, or 127, like I saw. So I really want to thank every one of you who have come in. Normally, I try to thank everybody, and I'm going to start calling your names now to say thank you to you. I hope that is okay. Okay, Chidebere, you want to say something before I begin my thanks?
Yes, sir. So I think we have a question in the chat box.
I didn't see it though. Sorry. What is it? Can you read it out for me? I'm not sure I saw it.
Okay. What is this thing?
Or can you repost it again, please?
Okay, sir.
I can't see. I'm in the chat box and I can't find it, to be sincere.
Let me read it out, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, let me go. So the question
Okay.
says,
Now I've seen something. Okay, this is from it said that when we say that I am the architect of my future, how does that manage the place of God, divine direction, and purpose? Wonderful. This is a very brilliant question. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel Bolofinde, for this question. Okay. Let's face it. In life, for anything to happen on the face of the earth, okay, you've called God, so let me use the scriptural verse. I hope that's okay for you. Okay. If you go to Psalm 116, I think it's verse 15. Okay, it says, the heavens are the Lord's, but the earth has he given to the sons of men. I repeat, the heavens is the Lord, but the earth he has given to the sons of men. It means that whatever happens in this world, its origin, the A and the end of it, man has an input. That's a law. And God cannot change his word. That's first of all. You need to understand that a man, like you have two legs, it takes two legs to walk. If anything is going to, that's why some people say, why do bad things happen to good people? There's so much evil in this world. If there is a God, some people ask atheists, if there's really a God, why there's so much evil in this world? There's so much evil in the world because man is intrinsically evil. If you see exactly what I am trying to say. So as long as this world is concerned, man has the dominion. Man is a high commissioner, then if you see what I mean. Man is a representative of God. It doesn't take away the part of God. Some people, you ask them, are you going to do this thing? They say, by the grace of God. No, but the grace has appeared to all men. You have the grace there. If you are going to go to school, it's like you want to enter, you want a pilot to fly you from Port Harcourt to Lagos. And before the pilot, you enter the plane. Before you fly, say, actually, I was actually a cattle rearer. Somebody just asked me to enter the plane right now. I didn't go to flight school. Are you in your right senses? Are you going to fly again? You will come down from that plane. If he means to break the window because his suicide bomber is on the corner. You don't become a pilot because it's by the grace of God. You do the work. And that when we say you are the architect, it doesn't mean that you are essentially, it doesn't mean that there is no God part of it. No, it's saying that your part needs to be done. Two things I will tell you. It takes humanity and divinity to become anything you want to do in life. Humanity and divinity. Leave God's part out of it. God is always faithful. He does his part. If something doesn't work, the problem comes from man. It's not from God. And when we are talking about the architect of your future, we are telling you to take responsibility. We are telling you to take a choice. I told you about my story and the things that happened to me in the university. And Walter just talked about his own. We could have decided to say, okay, God is he's God of everybody. So whatever happens, it's something called a fatalistic theory. So what we are trying to do tonight is to move people from fatalistic theory or from fatality into intentional living. And intentional living has a cost. It has a price. And you've got to do it. If you don't do it, you can't arrive there. I'm sorry, there is no way it's going to come. I hope that has answered your question, Mr. Emmanuel Bolofinde, because it's a very, very good question. There is the place of God in terms of divine direction and in terms of purpose, but you have to do your part. And that's what we are telling everybody here tonight. God is faithful, it will never fail. If anything fails in this world, it's not because God is unfaithful. It's because man, who is the high commissioner in this world, let's call it the ambassador, he's the one who must have messed up somewhere. And that's what we are saying. Move from fatalistic thinking into intentionality. You understand me? Come out from your comfort zone. Okay? Okay, I see you have replied and you have said that is okay for you. All right. On this note, I want to say thank you to everyone. God bless you all. Thank you for coming.
There's a question you didn't answer.
Which one? We have 10 minutes. What's the question?
Mr. Felix. from
Yeah,
Mr.
what is it,
Felix.
please? What is it, please? Can you read it out, please?
When a man has tried severally, maybe different efforts and seem not to be getting results, what else should the person do?
Okay. This reminds me of Albert Einstein's words. I don't know if you know about Einstein. He said the problem that is solved at one level, the problem that is created at one level can never be solved at the same level at which it was created. Life doesn't reward effort alone. Life actually rewards the results, performance. So it probably means that you've been doing something, how do I explain this? It means you've been doing something, but you've been doing it and you've been failing persistently. It probably means one or two things. You are applying a lot of energy in the wrong direction. I always go back to engineering, scalar and vector, for those who did physics, but I'm not going to talk into it. I won't go because not everybody is an engineer by background. So, but if you're in engineering, you know that vector is different from scalar because vector has a direction, scalar doesn't. So let me resolve it. Let me come back to normal English. What I'm actually trying to say is he may be applying a lot of effort in the right direction, in the wrong direction. The first question I want to ask you, are you in the right direction? To be able to do that, you may need some mentors to help you. You may need some senior colleagues in the industry, or you may actually need to do something differently than the way you've been doing it. Somebody said one definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. And I feel for that person because I feel he needs some help. So whoever you are, I really don't know you. I could help in a little way, maybe just to discuss with you later on. But it may mean you need to reappraise. It means that you've exhausted your circle of knowledge. You probably need a higher knowledge, and maybe it's from a mentor, or maybe somebody who is a senior friend, or somebody who is in your industry to bring in fresh knowledge into what you are doing. And I think that way he can help lift you up. Because if you keep trying and trying and trying again, have you seen a car that wants to start? The battery has run down. After 2 or 3 times you try to start the car, a good mechanic will say, don't try again. It's not the battery that's the problem, it's something else. Because there's a way you keep trying, that battery will go down. And then it will be very difficult for that car to start. I hope I've been able to help you, Mr. Felix. But if there's any other way, on the Aspire for Excellence WhatsApp group, you can probably put something there. And I think I could be able to contact you a lot more later to be able to help you. All right, on that note, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who have come here tonight. Thank you. God bless you for coming.